Okay, good morning. It's Tuesday. This is America's Teacher, and it's Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. And we're going through paragraph 2 of the Declaration of Independence. As I've been saying in the other videos, we are walking through so that we don't take for granted any words. Okay, last time on video 2 and the little follow-up, because I made a mistake on the video. Sorry about that. We hold these truths to be self-evident. We, the founders, believe that these principles are obvious, that all men are created equal, that people are made the same, and I think equal means they're standing before God, and that they are endowed by the Creator, because it says right here. So they are infused, or they are, a lot of people would say, made in the image of God. So if they're made in the image of their Creator, then they, with certain unalienable, unchangeable, inseparable principles or rights, and that those are what? Among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and last time I was wrong, property. Life, I have the right to stay alive. Sound familiar? We won't go into that right now. Liberty, the basic freedom to move about, have a conscience. And sorry, I'm going back into the last tape, but just to review, because these are important words, we tend to rush through them. And the pursuit of happiness, and a lot of people, I was wrong, I said privacy last time, that was a slip. No, it's pursuit of happiness, a lot of people think is property, because if you look at a lot of their documents, and documents before that, and the English Bill of Rights and the Magna Carta, you see property rights. So to own property and to protect your property, and I did a pretty good job going on explaining that last time. Okay, so that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the government. Okay, so to secure these rights, to protect these principles, freedoms, rights could be called a freedom, right? Remember, we're not going to use a word to describe a word. So that to secure these rights, that to protect these freedoms, governments, what's a government? Governments are instituted. Okay, what's another word for government? Man's. Oh, you got me stumped here. What's another word for government? Authorities? Authorities are not instituted, are developed among people, by people. Authorities are developed by people to protect these freedoms, deriving and that coming from, getting their powers from, just powers from getting their, that these authorities get their powers, authorities get their authority from deriving their just powers from the consent of the government. So deriving their authority from, what's another word for consent? From, with the permission of the people they're governing, or the consent of the governed, or you could say the population or the citizens. So where does a real government get its power? From its people and their consent. So if the people don't vote and consent collectively, how else could you tell whether they consent to it? It's not just whether 3 or 4. That's the problem with a lot of people I run into in our cultures. Well, we know what's right. Well, how do you know what's right? The only way we know what's right is to ask the majority to vote, and that's why we have constitutional amendments. Well, I know what's right. You make up your truth and I'll make up mine. I know that's a truth. Well, how do you know that's a truth? Those very same people I love to say, and I'm sorry, I'm being prejudiced by something I've just read recently on Facebook. Somebody was saying, hey, man, I got a right to my opinion and your opinion. You know, that always sounds really good, right? And how do they know that? Well, the founders are saying these rights come from God. God infused them in all of us, these principles. We know what's correct, and when we go against it, our consciences are burning, and we're not happy when we're being oppressed by the few. So when the few think that they know better than the rest of us, then that's tyranny, and that's 90% of the governments that have ever existed. Sorry, I'm getting my self-righteous tone here. Please forgive me. That is so beautiful. Listen to that. Deriving their just powers from the consent. That's like, could you imagine a parent that's ordering a child around and the children have to vote and we have to consent to your rules. Now that doesn't hold very well, right? Because children are children. But those are, wow, amazing words. So you have to have the permission of the people you're governing to govern them. So all these dictators don't have the people's permission. So they're false governments. And their people are never going to be happy. And that's why people are flocking to America. So that everyone that says that, I'm getting self-righteous again, but everybody who thinks that America is not exceptional and special and different is kind of wet between the ears and not really thinking. Because we're a rare republic. Very few governments in history have ever existed like ours. It's such a blessing. I don't think we should take it for granted. Oh, dare I take on these next words? Or excuse me. Or save them for tomorrow. That when any form of government becomes destructive, any form, dictatorship, democracy, socialism, indirect democracy, a whatever system, right? Parliamentary, presidential, republic, whatever. Now, whenever any form of government, tribal council, becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right. Now listen to them. Not just the right of the people to alter it and to abolish it. It's not just the right, but it is the responsibility. It is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government. I know I shouldn't have bit it off. Oops. Okay. I'm going to do that next time, but I'll just address the whatever part. That whenever any form, still on paragraph 2 of the Declaration, that when any form of government, okay, that's pretty simple, but when a government of any type begins to destroy, becomes destructive of these ends, destroy government of the people, by the people, for the people, right? The consent of the government. It is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. It is the responsibility of the people. It is the duty. It is the obligation. It is the privilege of the electorate to get rid of it. And we'll stop there for today. Thank you.